All righty, good afternoon, everybody. We are here again, and we are doing our Giving Tuesday for with our Nonprofit Connect. And now I have with me Miss Paula, and she is with United Way.
That is correct. My name is Paula Vinci. I'm the president and CEO for United Way of the Ohio Valley. And we're so thrilled to be on with you today.
Thank you so much for being here. It really means a lot to us.
What a wonderful idea to serve your community.
Yes, just trying to find a way to give back.
Oh, it just means so much to all of us. Giving Tuesday has been around for some time, and it's positioned perfectly right after Thanksgiving when we're all counting the blessings that we have for ourselves and our family, but we're also thinking about our community and those who are less fortunate than us, or for those of us, who will have times ahead that will be difficult. Mm-hmm. So it's a time to pause and really think about where we are in life and how we can help others.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, because we really never truly know when we're going to be in those shoes that are going to be needing help one day. So
that is so true. Sometimes I think we trick ourselves into thinking, well, it's going to be somebody else.
It's never going to be me.
It's never going to be me. It's never going to be anybody I know. Mm-hmm. It's going to be somebody in another part of the country who's suffering from a natural disaster, and that'll never happen to me.
No.
Because we don't have hurricanes here.
Absolutely.
Or somebody in another part of the city that you just think they have the challenges that I don't have to experience every day. So that's not ever going to be me.
Yeah.
But the truth is that's not true. We really need to be realistic with ourselves and realize that at some point we will have a challenging time in our life, and we have wonderful services in our communities that are there for us, and we want to make sure they're there for us, in the future when we all need help.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I've met with Savannah before, and she's given me a little bit of the spiel about United Way. So tell me some of the things that people maybe don't know. Like, tell me about the 211. So I can call 211, and what happens? What all is available?
211 I think is one of the greatest kept secrets.
It was a huge kept secret. Once I read into it, I was like, how did I not know about this? And like, how many people have came to me like, hey, I need help with this, and I couldn't send them anywhere because I didn't know. And now I'm like, well, if all I had to do was tell them, call 211, or how simple is that?
Right. So yeah, it's an information and referral line is what it is. And you can call 24/7, anytime you can call. Actually, we have these cool little cards that we give to people, and we take these everywhere that we go, and it says on the back information and referrals for healthcare, education, employment, shelter, clothing, prescriptions, food, utilities, transportation, disaster, even volunteering.
Oh, wow.
Just about anything that you could think of, and there's a QR code on the front, and I'm going to leave that for you.
Yes, please. Thank you very much.
When we're out in the community, often we'll hand those out to people that we think might be struggling and not know what to do. Mm-hmm. But again, that could hold true for any of us. Mm-hmm. A friend of mine had a problem with domestic violence in her family. She actually works within the nonprofit system in another part of the state. And she said, I did not think I would actually be the recipient of services from 211, but I had a situation with my family and I did not know who to call, and I called 211, and I'm convinced they saved someone's life in my family because of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you're in crisis, sometimes you're so overwhelmed, perhaps you're even in a dangerous situation or a very desperate situation.
You don't know what to do.
And you don't know what to do. Mm-hmm. If you have a cell phone, if you have a computer, if you know someone with either of those pieces of technology, this is at your fingertips at any time.
That's amazing.
I'm really glad that you brought that up because not everyone realizes that is a United Way service.
Yeah, I had no idea.
And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that we have that available in every county within the Commonwealth. Okay. And in most of the United States. Okay. And so it's a very important asset that we have, but it doesn't come for free.
Right. Yeah. And it's something
we wish we could just say we have this wonderful resource network, and I think there's 15,000 resources in there that someone else pays for, but we have to pay for that.
Yeah.
And we do depend on our community to help us support part of the funding for that.
Absolutely.
Because I know each one of us would want that there for us,
Mhm.
you know, when we need it.
And we need to keep it going so that one day it is there for us.
Absolutely, absolutely. When we talk about natural disasters, this is a gem for sure as a way of communication when you're in a very, you know, emergency situation.
Absolutely.
And at United Way, we learn a lot from the information we get from 211 in terms of who is calling and why they're calling.
Okay.
Are we having more calls about housing?
Mhm.
Are we having a lot of calls about problems with homelessness or problems with paying utilities? That kind of gives us a gauge of what the most pressing issues are in our communities.
Yeah, and how we can help them.
And how we can help.
Yeah.
That gives us information in real time.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Mhm.
And I know y'all do more than just the 211 number. I know in Hancock County personally, because I'm helping Savannah gather some donations there. Small businesses, be ready for me. If I haven't already hit you, I will. But I know, like, just for in Hancock County, like they help. United Way helps with like the 4-H program. It helps with people that are that use Oasis that are in the county. Was it there's one with foster grandparents, or that's another big one. What's some different things that y'all do like that in the communities?
Well, first of all, you've made another very important part, and that's that we have 6 counties and not just one. And so many people are like, oh, you're just in Owensboro and Davis County. No, we do have Hancock County, we have Ohio County, we have McLean County, we have Union County, and we have Webster County.
Okay, so y'all are spreading out then.
Yes,
That's
yes, we have a
awesome.
very big territory, and try to meet the needs of all those counties.
Yeah.
But I did kind of want to mention to you some of the programs that we fund in Davis County.
Okay.
We have over 50 programs within the 6 counties that we fund.
That's amazing.
And so you mentioned Miss Savannah Daniels, who was our director for marketing and resource development. She's out there making sure all the communities realize how important it is for us to raise money for the nonprofits. They're busy doing their services. So part of our job is to assist them as much as we can to raise as many funds as we can to help them do the work that they do. But, you know, in Owensboro, even the Davis County area, we fund the Boys and Girls Club,
Okay.
the Senior Center.
That's a big one. That's a very forgotten one, I fear.
Yes, and it's really come to the attention of our community with the seniors needing a new center and our growing population of seniors and meeting their needs and how to best do that. The Neblet Center.
Okay. I didn't know y'all helped out with that one.
Yes, hospice.
Okay.
Oasis, and I think you'd mentioned Oasis earlier. The YMCA. New Beginnings. That's our sexual assault support center here. Head Start. Are you surprised
I'm
yet?
getting really surprised,
Okay,
honestly.
good. I thought you might be.
Yeah,
You're like, you fund them? We didn't know you took care of
I
them.
had no idea. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is great. You brought us on today.
Yeah.
Salvation Army, the Opportunity Center, Mentor Kids,
Okay.
the Bulware Mission.
We had them on earlier too.
We've recently started what's called impact funding. We can talk about that a little bit more shortly, but we funded the Patino Shelter.
Okay.
So if you're paying attention to white flag events right now,
We should talk about that too.
yeah, really tugging at your heartstrings about making sure people are not on the streets when it's this cold.
Yeah.
We help them.
And they need a lot of funds coming in to make that happen.
Yes, they do.
So that's awesome that y'all help fund that as well. Because I mean, I feel like nonprofits, they're all kind of working separately, but really we're all kind of hand in hand. It's the same goal. So at the end of the day, we're all here doing the same thing.
Yes.
So that's amazing. That's awesome.
I think that's one of the most rewarding parts of our job is that we get to see kind of holistically what's going on with the needs in our community. And we have so many nonprofits that do such incredible work. And how do we pull people together within those organizations to meet those needs and keep them connected?
Right.
Because they share a lot in common in terms of, how difficult it is to serve our community and what it costs to serve our community.
It's not cheap.
Like you mentioned, when it's White Flag, Harry Pedigo and his staff, he's got to have more people, more food,
more supplies, more everything.
more laundry. I mean, you name it, more everything. But we all want that. We want people off the streets. We want them to be safe.
But if we want those things, we have to help them to be able to get those things.
We do.
So, and it's easy to complain on the internet. It's very easy, but it's another thing to do something about it. So hopefully we can pull on some heartstrings and entice people to help out. Because really, it's a community job. We have to come together. It can't be up to 3, 4, 5 families to pour into these places because it just can't happen anymore. We're hoping. We got on a subject earlier of homelessness is becoming a more thing. But more nonprofits are becoming a bigger and bigger thing because they're helping more and more people. They're getting in there and they're seeing the need, and they're finding a way to help, but they can't do it for free. And people can only give up so much of their time, and so I think that's awesome. They are helping them.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
How much money do you think we strive to raise every year to help all these nonprofits? I'm just gonna give a little quiz
For the Ohio Valley, all of them.
for all of them. Just take a stab at
I'm
it.
gonna say 5 million.
I wish we could raise 5
That would be ideal, wouldn't it?
If we could raise 5 million, we could meet all the requests that we have from our agencies. We do good to raise about 1.3 million a year. And we have to tell people that we do not have enough money to meet their full request.
That's heartbreaking. That's a lot of communities. That's a lot of people that y'all are impacting. That's a lot of, that's just a lot.
We have a staff of 5 for 6 counties, and Miss Savannah that you referenced earlier, who's incredible.
Yes, she's the best.
I just couldn't make it without her. She runs over 150 campaigns each year. And what we mean by that, if you want to break it down, if we took your business as one campaign, you mentioned small business earlier, and you said that'll be knocking on your door in Hancock County. We'll be knocking on your door here. You're one campaign.
Mm-hmm.
So Savannah and my staff, we're looking at least right now 149 more just like you. Wow. To try to do what we can do now.
Yeah.
We can only imagine how many campaigns we would need to raise 5 million.
Yeah. You'd need about 10 Savannahs.
We need about 10 Savannahs. But if people would realize that it doesn't take an incredible amount of money, it's like
if everybody would give
a little
$5, we would literally change the world.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the heartbreaking part, is just trying to get people realize we're not asking for everything. We're asking for a tiny portion, because if everybody gives a little bit, it's going to add up to a lot.
Exactly. We were talking to some people at their business not too long ago, and I said, I feel so guilty. I went to Starbucks this morning, and I spent $5 on a cup of coffee.
That $5 could have really made a difference somewhere.
Didn't really think anything about it, but had I taken that money and placed it somewhere else,
I would have thought about it.
And when with United Way, we're going to give that to multiple agencies, right? We're not going to give it to one. We're going to take those dollars and we're going to spread them. And we're going to serve as many people and do as much good as we possibly can.
Absolutely.
And that's, again, what we love about what we do.
Yeah.
But if everybody could just understand how simple it could be, we could eventually get to that 5 million mark.
Mm-hmm.
It's really not as complicated as you think it might be.
Right.
It's taking the time and having the trust that when you give money, that it really goes
To where it's going.
to where they say it's going. We read so much on social media and through other forms of communication that sometimes we don't always trust
Right.
how people are handling our money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and United Way here and other United Ways across the country, across the world. We were just talking about how many countries we're in. We've been proven time and time again that we take the money that's given to us and our staff doesn't even make the decision about where it goes. We have community volunteers who come to us, who volunteer their time to sit down and review every application, every request, discuss every agency, their leadership, their board. Is this the best use of that donor's money?
Yeah.
And they make those very educated decisions.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So we want to reassure people that we take their money very seriously.
Absolutely.
And that we know exactly that it goes back into our community to serve our people.
Yes. That's very important. So tell me more about this impact you were talking about.
Okay, I'd love to tell you about that. You know, one of the things that we discovered is people now, and you mentioned homelessness, are beginning to talk more and more about issues, about social problems in their communities. And I think as we look across various communities, we're all having some similar conversations. For example, my daughter lives in Denver, Colorado. And when you think about Denver, Colorado, you think, well, they don't have a care in the world.
Mm-hmm.
They have a problem with homelessness. But so does Owensboro, Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
So there are things that we share in common about our economy and how people are struggling. But each individual community comes together to decide how they need to address those issues where they live.
Mm-hmm.
If you have problems in Hancock County or Union County, you talk with those business people and you would decide how are we addressing this problem?
Right.
How are we solving this problem, or at least making it more manageable?
Right.
We found that people are having more and more of those conversations and want more and more information and more long-term solutions.
Mm-hmm.
So as we looked at what we call investments into our community, when we give organizations funds, how do we invest in making those problems better?
Right.
And we could take homelessness or affordable housing as examples, because those have been areas that our United Way has said, you know, we've listened to the community. We have 211 data.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked to people in the community. We've talked to leaders. We go into many businesses and we hear a lot of the same things. Paula, Savannah, United Way, we're concerned about these issues.
Right.
What do you know and how can you help us with this?
Yeah.
And so we started what's called impact funding. So what that means is that's a separate pool of funds, a separate pool of money and resources that we pull together separate from our other pool that we use for our other agencies that we funded for so many years, to say we want to address these problems. And what programs do we have? What programs do we need?
Mm-hmm.
How do we begin to address this to solve this in a more long-term fashion?
Right.
And so this year we have what's called a pledge card when we run a campaign.
Okay.
And it's a sheet of paper that gives you information about how you can give. And on there for the first time, it says you can give towards impact funding.
Okay.
To support work being done in homelessness, affordable housing, and to help people with financial stability.
That's amazing.
And so people can direct their money in those areas and then trust the United Way to decide what programming we can invest in to make those differences.
Yeah.
And people have found that to be very positive so far, is in terms of something that's new.
Yeah.
That gives a donor a different way to give.
Yeah.
So we're very excited about that.
Yeah.
We started the funding about 2 years ago, and that was how we were able to fund the Patino Shelter and St. Ben's and the Center. as well as some other nonprofits. And we're in that application process right now to do a third round of that funding.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So y'all are really helping people. And more than just individuals. I mean, you're helping other nonprofits, which in turn is helping, hundreds of people. So, I mean, your impact is huge. That's
Well, I
amazing.
hope so.
Yeah, that's amazing. And it's just crazy, like, now that we've talked about all these things and I've seen where, where your all's hands have been, and I just not had a clue the whole time. I don't know where I thought everybody got their funding from, but it's nice to know that, like places like United Way, I mean, they're helping thoroughly throughout the community.
Right.
That's very important. And you're helping, from Head Start to seniors, nobody's left out in between, and
That's right.
just taking the biggest need and running with it.
That's right.
That's amazing. Well, is there anything else about United Way that people may not know that you would like them to know?
Do you know we've been around for 75 years?
That's insane. I did not know.
We just celebrated 75 years in this community this year. This has
amazing.
been a huge year for us.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like, we're exhausted.
Yeah, I'm saying.
We've been going full blast.
Yeah.
No, we were just saying, oh my gosh, we only have a few weeks left.
Yeah.
So this is a great way to be able to round that out at the end of the year to say, some of these agencies we started taking care of 75 years ago. That we feel so proud that they've been able to do so much good work.
Yeah, they were
for
able
so
to
many
keep doing
years.
what they're
Yeah,
doing.
they were able to keep doing
That's awesome.
because we had a hand in it, like
Yeah.
you said, and so we have such pride in that, and we don't want people to forget that
Right.
we've been around that long.
Yeah.
And that we're still trying to evolve, to do more, and to be better, and to lead the way. So
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Well,
Thanks.
thank you so very much for your time. And how can people donate today?
Well, I thought you'd never asked.
I know, I didn't.
There's always a way to donate. Savannah, we even ran a test before we came. We got on our website, United Way of OhioValley.org. So when the website pops up, you cannot miss the donate button.
Right there.
It's the big red button on the far right with a heart. You can't miss it.
All righty.
And it's the simplest process. You click on that button. The first screen asks you how you want to give. Do you want to give a cash gift? Do you want to do a credit card? Do you want to do PayPal, debit card? And the second screen asks you your information.
Easy enough.
Can't get any much easier than that, right?
Yep.
Miss Savannah made a Facebook post today. There's a link on our Facebook post.
Okay.
So you can definitely like our Facebook page.
Yep.
Go right there.
Easy enough.
And we can't end without talking about volunteerism.
Yes.
We have so many volunteers within our business community that do projects for all the nonprofits.
Yes.
We kind of act as sort of not a middleman, but sort of an organizer with the nonprofits between the business community. When they need something done, we look for businesses that are looking for projects for their workforce, and we match those up.
That's amazing.
And obviously we have our own volunteers. We have the board of directors, and then we have panels, like I said, of volunteers in every county that make decisions about how they want their money spent.
Okay.
And then we just have volunteers that just go out and do wonderful work in terms of serving the community in any way that would help those in need, right? If you're a bell ringer today, you're definitely serving the needs of our community. So we talk a lot about donors, and we talk a lot about how much money it takes to make it all go. But volunteerism is so critical to the health of our community. So
if somebody wants to volunteer, how do they go about it? Can they message the Facebook page?
They sure can.
Okay.
They can call the United Way office directly.
Okay.
They can call Miss Savannah
Okay.
Daniels. They can call myself at the United Way office.
Okay.
So you can always get a hold of us.
Somebody.
We're on call 24/7. That's what you do in the nonprofit world. When there's a need and you get a call, then you answer. So we're here for you.
Absolutely. That's amazing. Was there anything else that we forgot about?
don't think so. I think we got it all, but I just want to thank you again for doing this.
Thank
I know
you.
you've done it for us today, and you've done it for probably 10 or 11 other
Yeah, there's a couple
nonprofits.
more.
So we really appreciate, all of us appreciate the voice to not only talk about what's going on with our organizations, but to talk about the needs of the community. Because I think sometimes people just are, not always aware
Yeah.
of really what's going on out
It's
there.
easy to turn a blind eye to something you don't really want to focus on, or you don't want, just out of sight, out of mind kind of things. And we're here to pull that right back in front of your face and just remember what it's really all about. And so,
But everybody can make a difference.
yes.
Everybody can change a life, and today's a great day to do that.
Yep, it's a great day to change a life.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you so very much for
Thank
being
you.
with me.
Appreciate it.
And if you all want to donate, or if you want to volunteer in any way, check out their Facebook page or their website. Either way, tons of information for you. And we will be back shortly with our next one. Thanks, guys.